just start. Then we'll begin one.
Honorable. So I don't want to start. I could start from behind.
Yeah, you can start from here and come to this side, or start from here and come to this side. Just randomly.
All right, so we do that
But you
in the
can
next.
start. Press that guy. Press that. It's the one in the right. The people in the middle. So let me just prompt the people in the front.
Comes in three folds. We have the gown itself. Like I have here, this is the gown. The second one is the hood. And this is the hood. The hood comes with a rope. When you are putting on the hood, the ropes come down. It comes down. Final one is the cap. And with the cap, the tassel goes to the right. Upon the award of the degree, you turn it to the left. With the black robe, if you are wearing a shirt that has buttons, you usually hang it to the buttons. But with females mostly, they leave it hanging as it is now.
All is set and done, and this morning we are here at the Great Hall of the University of Ghana for another experience that we've all been waiting for. We've seen graduates from yesterday, and a lot has happened. Exciting moment that has kept them thinking. And today we have seen another opportunity, another space to make it happen again. This is at the Great Hall of the University of Ghana, where we present PhD degrees from the School of Graduate Studies. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an exciting moment to be your host for this morning. We are going to have some interactions with the graduates this morning, and let's see how they feel. If there are things that they have to say to us, we take it out from there, and afterwards we'll get it done one more time. Please, hi, good morning. Please, your name and congratulations on earning your PhD. How do you feel?
I feel good. There's a relief that I'm finally done with everything, and yeah, I feel good. I'm excited.
You're excited. Okay, so what is it up there that you want to tell those who want to take up your course? What is this one advice? What is this thing that you want to say to them to encourage them to do and to take the path that you've taken?
Okay, so I would advise that you have to focus. You'd have to be resilient. You don't have to give up. When you make the decision, you'd have to make sure that you see yourself to the end of it. I would just want them to be very resilient. That's what.
All right, they should be resilient. All right, sir. Thank you so much. Please, your name and how do you feel?
My name is Charles Jobwa. I'm so much happy. I'm elated. I consider today a dream come true. I'm happy.
A dream come true. What really inspired you to do a PhD course?
That has been my dream. I want to be a lecturer, and that has inspired me to get to the top. I have to get my PhD, and today I consider that dream having been achieved. Glory to God.
Glory to God. All right then. So let's move to the far end. You look amazing. Congratulations on earning your PhD. Please, your name and how do you feel?
My name is Mesingum Ambe, and today I am really happy. The journey has not been easy, so I'm really grateful it has finally come to an end.
It has finally come to. What is this one word they want to say to those who want to really take the path that you've taken this morning?
Perseverance. Perseverance. That's my word, perseverance. It's not easy, but one step at a time. Even when it's difficult, always look ahead for the day you are going to finish, and just persevere one step at a time.
Just persevere, one step at a time. So, viewers, all following us on the social media handles, this is the Great Hall from the University of Ghana. And I see the joy and excitement, madam. You look amazing. Congratulations on in your PhD, forgive me. How do you feel?
I feel good.
I can see that. And what is that one thing you want to advise those who want to really take the path that you have taken?
Never give up on your dreams. Everything is possible. So far as you make an effort, just move on and you can make it.
There's this question that has been on my mind. As a mother, how do you really join these two together for this great achievement?
It's not easy, but it all boils down to determination. Because a career person with so many responsibilities and diverse things to do, if you still have the aim to achieve your dream by having a PhD, it's achievable. You have made it, so everybody too, you can also make it.
All right, thank you so much. We really appreciate all that you said. Okay, so please, hi, good morning. You look amazing. Please, why are you here today?
I'm here to support my husband.
Sorry?
I'm here to support my husband.
You're here to support your husband. Oh, thank you so much. That's amazing. So how did you really do this with him?
I didn't do anything. He did all the hard work.
He did all the hard work. All right, please, a round of applause for her, please. All right, so thank you so much. Hello, sir. Good morning. I want to know, how do you feel?
I'm very excited for them. You know, in our society, everybody wants upliftment. And once your colleague is being uplifted, you need to motivate and then congratulate him. So we are here to support all of them. Thank you.
You're here to support all of them. Who is that one person you're here for?
Dr. William Yamoa. That's why I'm here. Thank you.
A round of applause for him as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Those on our social media handles. This is the Great Hall at the University of Ghana. If you are not here, please stick with us. We have a lot set for you. A lot of excitement, a lot of stories. And at the end of it all, we shall give praise to God one more time. My name is Ebenezer Kofi Mogbe. I love to be called A4UMC. Please stay tuned.
Hello. Hello. We invite all graduates to take their seats. We are a few minutes away from the program, from the start of the program. All graduates, please come in and take your seats. And while we wait to start, I have a couple of announcements for us. We have washrooms in the hall. There are washrooms to my right, a door on my right leading to washrooms for ladies, and there is another on my left leading to washrooms for gents. In case you are in need, please consult our ushers who are in university-branded cloth. We also have mobile toilets outside, both on the right and left wings. So you are free to consult our ushers to direct you when you are in need. I'm happy to inform you that we are streaming live, as you've noted already from the Vox Pop. We are streaming this graduation ceremony live, and so we indulge all of you to kindly comport yourselves when you are seated. We do not allow sashes in the hall. The sash that you use on the graduation gown is not allowed in the hall. It's not part of the dress code for graduation. So in case you have a sash, kindly take it off and use it another time, please. We've been playing a video on how you should look in your gown. So kindly check on your neighbors to make sure that everybody is appropriately dressed. Your hood should not slant. It should be straight. And so please watch the video and make sure that you are properly dressed. And kindly check on your neighbors and ensure they are also looking very nice in their gowns. I'm happy to inform you that we've introduced on-stage photos for every graduate. So once you are presented and you mount the stage to greet your dean, we capture the handshake. So when you get there, kindly pause and smile into the cameras to capture a memorable photo of yourself. The person doing this photograph will be in blue and lemon green jacket, so make sure that you target the person, look into his camera to be captured for the moment. Thank you very much. Let's prepare ourselves to receive the members of convocation.
With the black robe, if you are wearing a shirt that has buttons, you usually hang it to the buttons. But with females mostly, they leave it hanging as it is now.
Please, I forgot to add that for PhDs, your cap will be fixed when you are called. Once you are called, the dean will be here to place the cap on your head. So please note, but make sure that your hood is well fixed. Thank you.
And I work at the Academic Affairs Directorate with the Teaching and Examinations Unit. I am here to demonstrate how the academic gown is worn. The academic gown comes in 3 folds. We have the gown itself. Like I have here, this is the gown. The second one is the hood. And this is the hood. The hood comes with a rope. When you are putting on the hood, the ropes come down. It comes down. Final one is the cap. And with the cap, the tassel goes to the right. Upon the award of the degree, you turn it to the left. With the black robe, if you are wearing a shirt that has buttons, you usually hang it to the buttons. But with females mostly, they leave it hanging as it is now.
On behalf of management of the university, I'm delighted to also welcome you all to this ceremony, which is dedicated to the College of Health Sciences.
Graduates, your journey to this moment has required resilience, discipline, and determination. Today marks an ending and a beginning. The successful closure of one chapter of your lives and the beginning of another.
Today is a declaration that years of sacrifice, discipline, sleepless nights, and relentless determination have borne valuable fruits.
Let our character be the spine to hold our heads high, and wherever life places us, may we represent this great institution of tradition and these professions with pristine honor. The journey continues, and the best is yet to come. Congratulations to the College of Health Sciences, class of 2025. God bless the College of Health Sciences. God bless the University of Ghana. And God bless our homeland Ghana. Thank you.
And I work at the Academic Affairs Directorate with the Teaching and Examinations Unit. I am here to demonstrate how the academic gown is worn. The academic gown comes in 3 folds. We have the gown itself. Like I have here, this is the gown. The second one is the hood. And this is the hood. The hood comes with a rope. When you are putting on the hood, the ropes come down. It comes down. Final one is the cap. And with the cap, the tassel goes to the right. Upon the award of the degree, you turn it to the left. The black robe, if you are wearing a shirt that has buttons, you usually hang it to the buttons. But with females mostly, they leave it hanging as it is now.
Our guests seated outside, kindly rise to receive the members of convocation. Guests and graduates in the hall, please rise for the members of convocation. Please remain standing for members of the University Council.
Amanfo lego krotre ni akwamu chidom ni ankobia framandom ni esenkuni ne se omamu atena si o ni oya ade fata no wo bra wo ho a na wunya wo ho lego mampanyin oni ni panyin for sini o mu amuni won mu hwe won. Amanfo legon krotre ni akwamu chidom ni ankobia framandom ni esenkuni ne se omamu atena si o ni ade fata no wo bra wo ho a na wunya wo ho legon mampanyin oni ni panyin for sini o mu amuni won mu hwe won. Modern Basobobriason, Mumma in I am Niger, and him tear pepper.
Thank you very much. Kindly resume your seats. Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, Ministers of State, Chair and members of the University Council, Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Provost, Deans, Directors, Heads of Department, our distinguished guest speaker, members of convocation, special guests, graduates, staff and students, our friends from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the Great Hall of the University of Ghana. Good morning and welcome to the Great Hall of the University of Ghana. Thank you very much. Graduation ceremonies are always a memorable time, and for us at the University of Ghana, these ceremonies hold even greater significance as they reflect our first strategic priority, transformative student experience. We scheduled 4 graduation ceremonies in July 2026 for undergraduate students from the College of Humanities and the College of Health Sciences, as well as students from the School of Graduate Studies who successfully completed their programs during the 2025-2026 academic year. This morning's ceremony, dedicated to PhD students from the School of Graduate Studies, is the second of the 3 ceremonies scheduled for the school. We are happy to announce that for this ceremony, each of you graduates will receive an onstage photograph. And so when you mount the days to shake hands after you have been presented, pose and look into the camera of the person taking the onstage photos for you. The person will be in a blue and lemon green reflective jacket. So please pose to capture this very memorable moment. Having set the stage for the proceedings, I'm now privileged to invite our registrar, Mrs. Emilia Ej Mensah, to deliver introductory remarks for us. Please let's welcome Mrs. Emilia Ej Mensah to the podium.
Thank you, Director of Public Affairs. Your Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, Chair of the University Council, Vice Chancellor, Provosts, Deans, Directors, and other university officials, Ministers of State and Members of Parliament present, members of the Diplomatic Corps, our distinguished guest speaker, members of convocation, graduating students, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. On behalf of management of the University of Ghana, I'm delighted to welcome all of you to this morning's ceremony, which, as you've heard, is dedicated to students graduating with PhDs from all 4 of the university's colleges. The ceremony will be under the direction of Mr. Michael Oparetua, Deputy Registrar and Administrator of the School of Graduate Studies, who takes office as Registrar exactly a week from today on 1st August. I thought you'd clap for Michael. We congratulate and salute all our students who have worked so hard and are graduating today. Your hard work has truly paid off, and we wish you all, our graduating students, the best on this, your special day. Chair of Council, before I take my seat, it is my pleasant duty to call on the Dean of the School of Graduate Studies, Professor Patrick Asamoah-Secchi, to perform a short but very important ceremony to acknowledge the international students who are graduating today. Dean.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a tradition at the University of Ghana that at congregation ceremonies, we acknowledge our international student population who came from all over the world to study here. We are pleased to report that members of the UG graduating class of 2025-2026 have come from 23 countries, including Ghana, and these are across the 3 sessions. The countries are Benin, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cameroon, Côte d'Ivoire, Ethiopia, Gabon, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Kenya, Liberia, Malawi, Namibia, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, Tanzania, Togo, Uganda, and Zambia. I now call on all our international students graduating today to stand to be acknowledged. Please remain standing. Our dear international students, we cherish your contribution to the academic and social life of the University of Ghana and wish you well in your future endeavors. Thank you. You may resume your seat, please.
Thank you very much, Dean. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome once again to the second session of the July 2026 Congregation Ceremony of the School of Graduate Studies. This session is dedicated to our Doctor of Philosophy graduates. It is my singular honor to introduce the Chair of Council representing the Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Madame Marietta Ejewa-Brew, who is presiding over this morning's congregation ceremony. Madame Marietta Ejewa-Brew is a distinguished Ghanaian legal practitioner whose career spans over 3 decades of service in public and private legal practice, international arbitration, and governance. She has served as Ghana's Attorney General and Minister for Justice between 2013 and 2017, and she is currently the legal counsel for the President of the Republic of Ghana, a role in which she advises on constitutional and governance matters, legislation, and legal compliance. Madam Brew's professional journey is defined by her deep commitment to justice, her capacity to operate at the highest levels of legal and governmental decision-making, and her international recognition as an expert in arbitration and commercial law. She is the chairperson of the University of Ghana's Governing Council. There's a lot more we can say about her, but suffice to say this at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me welcome Madame Marietta Ejewa-Brew to deliver her opening remarks.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic, members of the University Council, Vice Chancellor Professor Nanaba Apia Amfo, members of Convocation, guest speaker Dr. Ambrose Jeme Hofue, faculty, staff and students, parents, families and friends, our graduates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege on behalf of the Chancellor of the University Council to welcome you to this congregation for the award of graduate degrees. A congregation is among the most sacred traditions in the life of a university. It is the moment when years of rigorous study, disciplined inquiry, quiet sacrifice, and relentless determination are publicly honored. Yet, it is more than the conferral of degrees. It is the university's solemn declaration of confidence that those upon whom it confers its degrees will bear their learning not merely as a mark of personal achievement, but as a responsibility to society, exercising it with integrity, humility, and wisdom, and placing it in the service of humanity. To our graduates, I offer my warmest congratulations. Your presence here today is the culmination of years of dedication and sacrifice. For many of you, the pursuit of advanced learning has been undertaken alongside demanding professional responsibilities, family obligations, and personal sacrifices. Yet through determination, intellectual rigor, and an unwavering commitment to excellence, you have recorded and reached this significant milestone. Today, the university proudly recognizes your accomplishments and welcomes you into this distinguished community of graduates. No one reaches this moment alone. Every degree reflects the encouragement of parents and families, the guidance of supervisors and lecturers, the support of mentors and friends, and the dedication of the many members of staff whose work sustains the life of this university. To all who have shared this journey, the university expresses its sincere gratitude. For generations, the University of Ghana has stood at the forefront of scholarship, shaping intellectual thought, professional excellence, and leadership in Ghana, and indeed across Africa and beyond. Through the work of its faculty and the achievements and service of its graduates, the university has contributed significantly to scientific discovery, public policy, innovation, and human development. Among this university's distinguished alumni are 3 presidents of the Republic of Ghana, including His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, whose presence at this congregation is a source of pride. The university exists not merely to preserve knowledge, but to create it, to apply it to the challenges of society, and to transmit it to each succeeding generation. In every degree we confer today, the university recognizes achievement and expresses its confidence that the knowledge will be exercised with wisdom, integrity, and in the service of society. It recognizes achievement because each degree reflects the discipline, scholarship, and perseverance that has brought you to this day. It expresses confidence because society looks to universities not merely to educate, but to prepare women and men who will exercise sound judgment, act with integrity, solve problems, improve lives, and advance the common good. Upon receiving your degrees today, you will join a distinguished community of University of Ghana scholars, professionals, and leaders whose influence extends far beyond this campus. The true distinction of your degree will be reflected not only in your professional accomplishments, but also in your integrity, your judgment, and your commitment to serving others. May you carry your learning with humility, exercise your knowledge with wisdom, and prove worthy of the confidence that this university places in you. And now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my very pleasant duty to declare this congregation duly constituted for the award of degrees and other academic distinctions to all you successful graduates. And now at this juncture, I invite the Vice Chancellor, Professor Nanaba Apia Amfo, to present her report to the university. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, Chair of Council, members of the University Council, Pro-Vice Chancellors, Registrar, Provosts, Deans and Directors, distinguished guest speaker, members of convocation, members of the School of Graduate Studies Management Board, staff and students, alumni, graduates, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I extend warm greetings to you all, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this congregation ceremony for the 2025-2026 graduating cohort. Today we celebrate the accomplishments of our students who have successfully completed their programs, and on behalf of university management, I warmly congratulate all our graduating students on reaching this important milestone. For the July 2026 congregation ceremonies, a total of 1,884 students are graduating, comprising 157 PhDs, 1,429 master's degree graduates, and 298 undergraduate students. This morning's ceremony is dedicated to our PhD graduates. Today marks the conclusion of one important phase of your lives and the beginning of another. Indeed, for many of you, you're already in that phase. Your time at the University of Ghana has equipped you with knowledge, critical thinking capacity, discipline, and values. You now carry the responsibility of using these attributes to serve Ghana and the global community with distinction, strategic vision, and institutional excellence. The University of Ghana continues to pursue its vision of global impact through innovative research, teaching and learning anchored in technology and human-centered values. Our work is guided by 5 strategic priorities: transformative student experience, impactful research, commitment to our faculty and staff, engagement and partnerships, and sustainable resource mobilization and stewardship. These priorities shape our institutional direction and inform the initiatives we undertake. In a rapidly changing global environment, they position the university to respond with agility while maintaining academic rigor, ethical grounding, and meaningful engagement with our stakeholders. I'm pleased to report that the university has successfully concluded the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission's 5-year cyclical institutional review. The Commission commended the university for significant progress in governance, research, policy development, academic quality, and institutional growth. The review assessed our quality assurance systems, governance structures, academic delivery, student support services, and overall institutional performance, as well as our response to recommendations from the previous review. This outcome demonstrates the university's continued commitment to institutional excellence and continuous improvement. Technology, innovation, and the student experience. The university continues to embrace advances in information and communication technology to enhance teaching and learning. Our Center for Teaching and Learning Innovation and the Academic Quality Assurance Directorate are working to equip students, faculty, and staff with competencies in contemporary educational technologies, including artificial intelligence. Earlier this year, the University Council approved the policy on the use of artificial intelligence, which provides guidance for the responsible and ethical use of AI in teaching, learning, research, and administration. The policy promotes inclusive access, ethical and accountable use, teaching and learning excellence, and compliance with data security and privacy requirements. A new teaching and learning policy has also been approved to provide an enabling framework for innovative and quality teaching and learning. It promotes inclusivity and equitable access to relevant resources, continuous professional development for faculty, and stronger library and ICT support for effective teaching and learning. We are also expanding digital access through the One Student, One Laptop initiative. To date, 777 laptops have been distributed out of 1,196 laptops donated by various partners. In addition, the university has received 500 laptops from the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation to support the training of students in IT skills under the government's 1 Million Coders program. We are grateful to our partners, including EcoBank Ghana, which has contributed 300 laptops over 3 years, Telecel Ghana, which has provided a fully equipped 43-unit computer laboratory with an interactive touchscreen and dedicated internet connectivity, and Clems High Business Solutions Limited, which has donated an interactive screen and modern podium to the School of Public Health. The university, with support from our partners, has expanded student-friendly learning spaces through 4 hotspot comfort zones, equipped with Wi-Fi connectivity and seating to provide spaces for study, peer collaboration, and social interaction. Additional hotspot comfort zones are under construction. At the School of Engineering Sciences, a new STEM center, established in collaboration with STEM Power, is enhancing practical training and providing students with hands-on experience in modern tools and digital technologies. We appreciate all our partners whose support continues to help us strengthen the student experience and our academic and research capacity. Scholarships and student support. The university has also scaled up scholarship support, awarding 1,358 scholarships to new and continuing students for the 2025-2026 academic year. This reflects our commitment to our first strategic priority of delivering a transformative student experience and expanding access to higher education. It builds on more than 2 decades of institutional commitment to supporting brilliant students who require financial assistance. We are deeply grateful to all sponsors whose generosity enables our students to pursue their academic programs without the additional burden of financial hardship. We warmly welcome others to join us in supporting this very important cause. Partnerships and impact. Partnerships remain central to the university's efforts to create impact beyond our campuses. The School of Performing Arts recently delivered a powerful dramatic reenactment of the transatlantic slave trade at the Christian Box Castle as part of Ghana's Juneteenth celebrations. The production formed part of the Next Steps 2026 High-Level Consultative Conference, a global gathering focused on advancing the recognition of slavery as the gravest crime against humanity. I join His Excellency the President of the Republic in applauding the school for producing such important artistic works that engage contemporary issues while preserving and interpreting important aspects of our history and culture. I thought we would give the school a round of applause. Thank you. Research and innovation. Research and innovation remain at the heart of the university's mission. The Research and Innovation Directorate recently marked 15 years of advancing research excellence, reflecting on its contribution to research governance, interdisciplinary collaboration, grant management, and partnerships with industry, government, and international institutions. The work of the Directorate has strengthened the visibility, quality, and impact of research at the university while supporting evidence-based responses to national and global challenges. As we celebrate these achievements, we look forward to even greater accomplishments as we pursue our strategic priority of impactful research. Well-being of faculty, staff, and students. The university remains committed to the well-being and development of its faculty and staff. The inaugural UG Employee Week celebration honored the contributions of academic and administrative personnel through wellness activities, professional development, and community building initiatives. The reintroduced UG Staff Awards recognize outstanding members of staff whose contributions advance the university's mission in teaching, research, administration, and service. The university has reviewed its sexual harassment and misconduct policy with emphasis on strengthening reporting mechanisms and enforcement, while extending its jurisdiction and improving cooperation with relevant external authorities. These measures are intended to foster a safer, healthier, and more respectful environment for every member of the university community. Global visibility, rankings, and recognition. Mr. President, Madam Chair, I am pleased to note that the University of Ghana continues to strengthen its global visibility. The university has maintained its position as a leading university in Ghana and West Africa and remains among the top universities in Africa in the QS World University Rankings 2027. These achievements reflect the university's growing reputation for excellence in research, innovation, teaching, and learning, and demonstrate the progress being made in implementing our 2024 to 2029 strategic plan. The university was also honored with the Africa Heritage Award for Academic Excellence at the African Heritage Awards 2026. In recognition of its outstanding contribution to higher education, research, and national and continental development. I pause for the applause. Our faculty, staff, students, and alumni continue to distinguish themselves nationally and internationally. A doctoral student, Miss Elizabeth Abe, was just last week recognized for the best poster presentation at the 28th Congress of the International Association of Cross-Cultural Psychology, while students of the School of Nursing and Midwifery emerged winners of the Maiden Inter-University Nursing Quiz competition. You are amazing students. You caught the cue. We have also celebrated the achievements of our former international exchange student, Miss Christiana Koch, who was a member of the crew for the historic Artemis II mission. She notes that her experience at the University of Ghana contributed greatly to her global perspective and intellectual growth. Her achievement is a reminder of the enduring impact of the university and the strength of our global community. I'm pleased to announce, Mr. President, Madam Chair, that I have been appointed board chair of the Worldwide Universities Network. Thank you. Last month, I delivered the 2026 Distinguished Africa Lecture at Warwick University in the United Kingdom on the theme, Whose Language Counts? African Voices, Knowledge Systems, and the Future of AI. The lecture examined the implications of language exclusion in emerging technologies and challenged prevailing assumptions about whose language is represented in AI systems. So that was a linguist in me. The University of Ghana School of Law continues to distinguish itself as a center of excellence in legal education. The 2026 Times Higher Education World University Rankings by subject ranked the School of Law #1 in Ghana and West Africa, and 6th in Africa, placing it in the prestigious 251 to 300 global band. The school has also retained its title as national champions of the Philip C. Jessup International Law Moot Court Competition for the second consecutive year, earning the honor of representing Ghana at the International Championship in the United States of America. And just hold on. And only yesterday, the Dean of the School of Law informed me that the school was winners at the Moot Court competition in commemoration of the 150th anniversary of the Supreme Court of Ghana. And in addition, we won most of the individual prizes. So they came home with the trophy as well as 5 individual prizes. I congratulate our faculty, staff, students, and alumni on these achievements and urge all of us to continue working hard as we strive to do even better. Legal Education Act 2026. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this year marks a historic watershed for legal education in Ghana. The passage of the Legal Education Act 2026 introduces significant reforms that will reshape the development of legal professionals and the regulation of legal education in the country. As Ghana's premier legal training institution, the University of Ghana School of Law is well positioned to deliver the decentralized practical legal training through the Law Practice Training course, thereby contributing to expanding access to professional legal training while maintaining rigorous national standards. Now, your role as graduates. To our graduating students, this is a moment of significant transition as you end one chapter of your lives and begin another. The knowledge, discipline, and values you have acquired at the University of Ghana should guide you in your professional and civic contributions. You carry with you the reputation and values of an institution that has shaped leaders across generations. We expect you to uphold the principles of excellence, integrity, professionalism, and service in your careers and communities. As ambassadors of the University of Ghana, you will represent this institution throughout your lives and work. Wherever your journeys take you, remember that you remain part of the University of Ghana family. I encourage you to remain connected to the University of Ghana by registering on the UG Global Alumni Network app, which seeks to unite and mobilize our global alumni community. I also urge you to contribute your expertise, experience, and resources to sustaining the institution that shaped you and to mentor the students who will follow your path. Graduates, we are immensely proud of you. We wish you courage to embrace new opportunities, resilience in the face of challenges, and the wisdom to use your knowledge for the greater good. The world you are in is changing rapidly. Artificial intelligence and new technologies are transforming the workplace and reshaping industries. Global challenges require innovative thinking, collaboration, and responsible leadership. You have been prepared not simply to find jobs, but to create value, solve problems, and make a difference. I therefore challenge you to remain curious and committed to lifelong learning. Wherever you find yourselves, remember that your education comes with a responsibility to contribute to society. Use your knowledge not only for personal advancement, but also to improve the lives of others and to contribute to the development of Ghana and the wider world. On behalf of the University of Ghana, I offer my warmest congratulations on your achievements and wish you every success in all that you do. Your Excellency, my Lady Chair, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before I take my seat, permit me one final acknowledgement. And this is the part of the speech that Registrar doesn't know. These congregation sessions mark the final graduation ceremonies of our registrar, Mrs. Emilia Ej Mensah. Since assuming office in August 2021, she has led the university's operations with quiet competence, humility, and distinction. Mrs. Ej Mensah, thank you for your dedicated service to the University of Ghana. We are deeply grateful and wish you God's richest blessings in retirement. She retires at the end of this month. Mr. President, Lady Chair, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker for this morning's congregation ceremony is Dr. Ambrose Jima Hufuet. Dr. Ambrose Jima Hufuet is a visionary executive and transformational leader with extensive experience in finance, enterprise development, and private sector leadership across West Africa and the United States. He is currently serving as Chief Executive Officer of the Liberian Enterprise Development Finance Company, where he drives innovative financing initiatives to expand access to capital for Liberian SMEs. He also serves as Country Director for Group Indum in Liberia, providing strategic oversight for a diversified portfolio of business and investments. Over his distinguished career, Dr. Hufuet has mobilized millions of dollars in funding from international development institutions, significantly advancing opportunities for local enterprises. Beyond corporate leadership, he is deeply committed to faith-based leadership, mentorship, and community transformation, serving for over a decade as head of missions for the charismatic evangelistic ministry in Liberia. He holds a doctorate in finance from Sacred Heart University, USA, an MBA from South New Hampshire University, and a Bachelor of Science in Administration, Marketing Option from the University of Ghana. He is an alumnus of Adizadel College. Ladies and gentlemen, you may read the full version of his profile in the congregation brochure. But for now, please join me welcome Dr. Ambrose Jima Hufuet to the podium to deliver his address.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Chancellor, Chairperson, and members of the University Council, Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellors, Provosts, Registrar, members of the Board of the School of Graduate Studies, Deans and Directors, Heads of Department, members of Convocation, staff and students, the graduating class, families and friends of our graduating students, Nime, Name, Nananum, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a profound honor and privilege to stand before you today in this historic Great Hall of the University of Ghana. I'm deeply grateful to the university for the honor of sharing in this memorable occasion. Today is more than a graduation ceremony. It's a celebration of perseverance, excellence, and above all, purpose. Today belongs to you, dear graduates. Behind every doctoral gown is a story of sacrifice, resilience, and determination. Many of you have balanced family responsibilities, demanding career and personal challenges while pursuing this dream. Yet through it all, you did not give up. This achievement also belongs to your spouses, parents, children, supervisors, lecturers, employers, colleagues, pastors, friends who supported you along the way. May we honor them with a round of applause. Congratulations, doctors. Today, the title doctor is no longer an aspiration. It has become a reality. And the good news is that moving forward, GTech or GTech, depending on where you went to secondary school, will have absolutely no problem with you calling yourself doctors. Before I continue, I have a confession. I understand a little of what this journey feels like. Like many of you, especially if you choose a supervisor that has a track record of making sure that you do a quality work. I've experienced both the excitement of finding new research and also the frustration of research. I know what it feels like to submit a paper with confidence only for your supervisor to reply, "Please revise," which sometimes mean that redo the entire chapter, and in other cases, rewrite the entire paper. Those moments taught me that excellence is rarely produced in comfort. It is produced through persistence. This morning, I would like to challenge you by asking you this. What will you do with your title? It is a simple question, yet I believe it's one of the most important questions every doctoral graduate will ever answer. Today you have earned one of the highest academic laurels in the world. Tomorrow, however, the world will ask a different question. Not whether you earn the title, because you already have, but what you will do with your title. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not intend to deliver another academic lecture because you have had enough lectures and mastered enough theories. Instead, I want us to have a conversation about responsibility that comes with your new title. What difference will this title make? In the next few minutes, I'd like to share 4 ideas that I believe will help you answer that question, and more importantly, help you to make your title relevant to society. These ideas have been shaped by lessons from classrooms, boardrooms, marketplaces, and communities that I have had the privilege of serving. They have also been shaped by my experiences studying and working in Ghana, the United States, and Liberia, and by countless conversations with scholars, professionals, and business leaders from around the world. The first idea I would like to share with you is this: turn your knowledge into solutions. For years, you were trained to ask questions, identify research gaps, analyze data, defend your conclusions. Excellent. But from today, here is what matters even more. What problems does your knowledge solve? I currently have the privilege of leading a DFI in Liberia. Every day, I meet entrepreneurs, young people, and business people trying to survive, farmers trying to increase production, manufacturers trying to expand. I can assure you, none of them has ever entered my office and said, "Doctor, before you approve my loan, can you please explain the theoretical framework behind your decision?" They don't ask for theories, they ask for solutions. They ask, how can I grow my business? How can I employ more people? How can I increase production? How can I survive? The real world rewards usefulness. Knowledge is potential. Solutions create impact. Africa does not lack intelligence. Africa does not lack talent. We do not lack knowledgeable people. Every year in Ghana, floods destroy homes, businesses, and livelihoods. Galamsey continue to pollute our rivers and destroy our forests. And too many families still hear the painful words, "no bed," at our hospitals. We facing this country and facing Africa. Will it make a difference in governance, industry, and in our communities? Will it improve the quality of life for the ordinary person? Doctors, wherever life takes you, turn the knowledge you have gained into solutions. That is what gives true meaning to the title you have earned. The second idea is equally important. Don't become too educated to take risk. One unintended consequence of spending many years in academia is that sometimes we become too careful. We analyze every possibility, calculate every risk, and wait for perfect information, perfect time. Before long, we become experts in analysis, but reluctant to act. Some of the brightest minds I've met are also some of the most risk-averse people I have had to deal with. I have come to realize that life does not always reward those who wait for certainty. Do not become prisoners of your knowledge. Let your knowledge increase your confidence, not your fear, your courage, not your hesitation. Take calculated risk. Challenge accepted thinking. Remember, every invention was once an idea, and every great organization was once a small beginning. Sometimes the greatest risk in life is never taking one at all. Thirdly, learn to communicate what you know. You may have the greatest idea in the world, yet nobody benefits from it because nobody understands it. Many of us have spent years learning how to write for examiners, journals, our supervisors. That is important. But let me ask, can a farmer understand your research? Will a minister appreciate your recommendations? Can the ordinary Ghanaian comprehend why your work matters? Knowledge that cannot be communicated rarely changes society. I have attended conferences where brilliant presentations left the audience completely confused because the presenter assumed everyone was living in the same research topic. Never confuse complexity with intelligence. Learn to appreciate other perspectives. Learn to communicate. Learn to persuade. Always remember, knowledge gives you expertise. Communication gives you influence. And it is influence that changes the world. Finally, let me leave you with one last idea. Build relationships before you need them. No one succeeds alone. Behind every success story are teachers, mentors, colleagues, friends, pastors, politicians, and people who open doors when opportunities seemed impossible. Relationships matter. Remember, I did not say networking. Networking will often ask, what can I gain? Relationships ask, how can we grow together? Treat everyone with respect, not only the Vice Chancellor or the CEO. Keep your promises. Return that phone call. Respond to that email. Help people before you need their help. Never underestimate the value of conversation, one mentor or one genuine relationship. Do not disappear for 5 years, then suddenly send your professor a message. Good evening, Professor. I trust you are doing well. The professor already knows something is coming. You need something from him or her. Qualification may open doors, but character and relationships keep them open. The title you have earned today is a remarkable achievement, but it is not the destination. It is the beginning. As I conclude, let me return to the question with which I began. What will you do with your title? Today, the university has conferred upon you one of the highest academic honors in the world. But the true measure of your doctorate will not be the title before your name. It will be the difference your life makes. Doctors, Ghana needs you. Africa needs you. The future needs you, not merely to analyze problems and data, but to solve them. Not merely to occupy positions, but to lead with integrity. Not merely to earn titles, but to leave a legacy. Go and build. Go and serve. Go and lead. Go and turn knowledge into solutions. When history tells the story of your generation, may it not simply say they earned many degrees. May it say they solved difficult problems. They transformed knowledge into solutions. They strengthened institutions. They improved lives. They helped build a stronger Ghana and a better Africa. Congratulations, doctors. You have earned the title. Now earn the legacy. May God bless you. May God bless the University of Ghana. May God bless our beloved Republic of Ghana. May God bless our president. And may God bless Africa. Thank you very much.
We thank our guest speaker very much for that inspiring and thought-provoking address. He has asked us a simple but loaded question: what will you do with your title? I have no doubt that he has challenged us by his address, and we will endeavor to go out there and practice the insights he has shared with us so that we can shine as stars wherever we find ourselves. Another round of applause for him, please. And thank you very much, Dr. Ufue. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a tradition here at the University of Ghana that at congregation ceremonies, one of the best graduating students delivers a valedictory message on behalf of the graduating class. Our valedictorian for this session is Wolanyo Tashi. Wolanyo Tashi hails from Dabala Junction in the Volta region of Ghana. He received his basic education at Dabala Junction DA Basic School before attending Sogakope Senior High School. He later enrolled at the University of Cape Coast, where he graduated in 2014 with a Bachelor of Science degree in Medical Laboratory Technology, earning a first-class honors. Motivated by a keen interest in biomedical research and disease mechanisms, he pursued a Master of Philosophy degree in chemical pathology at KNUST. His interest in antimicrobial resistance, particularly anti-malarial drug resistance, and the search for a new chemotherapeutic strategies got him enrolled as a WACBIG ACE PhD fellow at the University of Ghana. Wolanyo currently serves as medical laboratory scientist at the Ho Municipal Hospital, where he contributes to diagnostic and clinical laboratory services. He aspires to build a distinguished career in infectious diseases research and contribute to the development of innovative solutions that improve health outcomes in Ghana and beyond. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you may read the full version of the profile in the congregation brochure. For now, please join me welcome Wolanyo Tashi to deliver his address on behalf of the graduating class. Please put your hands together until he gets here.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, representative of the Chancellor, members of the University Council, the Vice Chancellor, the Pro-Vice Chancellors, the Registrar, Provost, Deans, Directors, and Heads of Department, members of the Board of the School of Graduate Studies, guest speaker, members of convocation, distinguished members of faculty, families and friends, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Every graduate seated here today arrived at this university carrying something invisible, a question to answer, a dream to pursue, or a problem we believed was worth solving. Years later, you gather in this great hall, having learned that questions that matter most rarely yield simple answers. We have learned to think more critically, to remain open to where the evidence leads, and to recognize the responsibility that comes with knowledge. It is a profound honor and humbling privilege to stand before you today and speak on behalf of the graduating doctoral class. Many of us began this journey with a straightforward picture of the path ahead. Pass the comprehensive examination, develop a proposal, conduct the research, write a thesis, defend it, and graduate. The reality, however, proved far less straightforward. The journey was marked by delays, setbacks, and moments of uncertainty. For some, it was an experiment that repeatedly failed. For others, it was a research question that became more complex the deeper they explored it, or a research direction that had to be reconsidered altogether. My own journey was no exception. One of my challenges involved adapting an experimental approach that had been successful elsewhere to answer my research question. And it did not work as expected. So I had to step back, examine what might be going wrong, explore alternative approaches, and begin again. In doing so, I acquired knowledge and skills I might never have gained had the experiment worked on the first attempt. During those moments, my supervisors often reminded me that doctoral training is not only about the data we generate, but also about what we learn and how we grow through the process. Looking back, I can see how true that was. Many of us balanced our studies with employment and family responsibilities. There were moments when progress was slow, confidence was tested, and the finish line seemed distant. There were quiet battles behind some of the gowns we wear today. Yet we continued. We continued because the purpose mattered. As we sought to understand problems and contribute to meaningful change, the journey transformed us. We learned patience when results did not come quickly, humility when evidence challenged our assumptions, and resilience when progress came in small steps. The degree we receive today represents more than the completion of a program. It reflects who we have become, more rigorous, more disciplined, and more aware of how much there is still to learn. Fellow graduates, this achievement is worthy of celebration. Yet, a doctoral degree is more than a personal accomplishment. It is also a public trust. The value of this degree will not ultimately lie in the title doctor, but in the problems we help solve, the lives we improve, and the opportunities we create for others. The world does not need our certificates alone. It needs our contribution. No doctoral journey is completed alone, and an achievement of this magnitude is never the work of one person. We must therefore remember those who helped us reach this moment. To the leadership of the university and the School of Graduate Studies, thank you for creating and sustaining an environment in which our learning and research could thrive. To our supervisors, lecturers, and mentors, thank you for guiding, challenging, and believing in us. To the institutions, organizations, and funding agencies that supported our research and training, thank you for investing in us. To the administrators, technicians, librarians, laboratory staffs, and all others who supported our training, we say thank you. To our parents, guardians, spouses, children, families, friends, and loved ones, this day belongs to you too. Your sacrifices, patience, encouragement, prayers, and unwavering support carried us farther than you may ever know. Above all, we give thanks to God for the grace and strength that has brought us this far. Fellow graduates, we arrived at this university with questions. Today, we live not only with deeper knowledge, but also with the humility to recognize how much there is still to learn and the duty to use what we know to serve others. May we remain curious, because there's always more to discover. May we remain humble, because there's always more to learn. May we remain courageous, because there's still more work to be done. Years from now, when the applause of this day has faded, may the lives we have touched, the problems we have helped solve, and the doors we have opened for others be the true measure of what we did with the privilege of this education. Today, we receive the title of doctor. Tomorrow and in the years ahead, the world will judge us not by the title we bear, but by the knowledge we create, the contributions we make, and the integrity with which we serve. Fellow graduates, congratulations. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Olanyo. Shall we put our hands together for him once again? I hope he has managed to inspire you enough to go out there and shine. Thank you once again. We shall now have a musical interlude to be performed by the Ghana Dance Ensemble. They will be performing the Fume dance. This is a recreational dance form that was created by Mustafa Tete Adi out of a combination of about 4 different religious dances. It was choreographed to reflect shared commonalities that exist between the Akan, Akwemu, and the Dangbe people. This dance starts slowly and warms up into a vibrant, energetic, and throbbing dance that is exciting to watch. Fume Fume has been selected for this morning's graduation because of the hybridized nature of its movement. The dance is also appropriate because of the diverse range of graduates graduating this morning. It is the amalgam of our diversity that will advance our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fume Fume dance. Wow. That was the Fume dance by Ghana Dance Ensemble. Another round of applause for them, please. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the award of degrees. And I have a few instructions for our graduates. You are seated in the order in which you will be called. You will stand to be presented by the Dean of the School of Graduate Studies. When your degrees are conferred by the Chair of Council representing the Chancellor, she will say to you, Anyako, and you have to respond, yeah, yeah. You will then resume your seats for the roll call. When your name is called, you have to walk up to the front of the platform and face the audience to be decorated. After which you file past the platform party for a handshake with the Dean and a stage photo and return to your seat. Please follow the directions of the ushers. Courtesy demands that men take off their caps and bow. Women will keep their caps on and curtsy when you come up the platform. We are happy to announce that each of you graduates will receive an on-stage photo, and so when you come up for the handshake, please pause for a few seconds and look into the camera of the photographer in the olive green and blue reflective vest and smile for a memorable photo. In view of that, please take a moment to adjust your gowns and your hood in readiness for your memorable photos. One moment to adjust your gowns, please. I will now call on the Dean of the School of Graduate Studies to present graduates for the award of degrees. Graduates, please stand.
Chair of Council representing the Chancellor of the University of Ghana, I, Professor Patrick Asamoah Sechi, Dean of the School of Graduate Studies, present to you students of the School of Graduate Studies who, having followed the approved courses of study over the stipulated period and passed the required examinations, have thereby become eligible for the academic awards to which their studies entitle them. I pray for conferment of the awards due them.
Dean of the School of Graduate Studies, by the authority vested in the Chancellor of the University of Ghana, I, Marietta J. Wabru, Chair of Council, representing the Chancellor, hereby pronounce the students presented duly graduated. School of Graduate Studies, Anyiko.
Please be seated.
Doctor of Philosophy in Agribusiness, Alexander Edu Apia. He was supervised by Professor Irene Ejuri, Dr. Yao Bonsu Osei Asari, and Dr. Frida Elikplim Asem. Mercy Ngum Ambe. She was supervised by Professor Daniel Bruce Sapon, Dr. John Baptiste Jato, and Professor Irene Ejuri. Met Chris Chapman, Kodam. She was supervised by Professor Daniel Bruce Sapon, Dr. Yao Bunsu Osei Asari, and Professor Kwabena Asumeni Anaman. David Sepenu Mujaka. The supervisors are Dr. John Baptiste Jato, Professor Irene Ejuri, and Dr. Ama Asantua Ohenekujo. Daniel Nelson. The supervisors are Professor Irene Ejuri, Professor Daniel Bruce Sapon, Professor Simon Bolwick, and Dr. Abigail Adaku. Doctor of Philosophy in Agricultural Engineering, Theophilus Francis Kofi Theo. The supervisors are Dr. Engineer Peace Amwate and Dr. Evans Asenso. Doctor of Philosophy in Agricultural Extension, Richard Kofi Apo. The supervisors are Professor Seth Boateng, Dr. Jonathan Anaglo, and Professor Daniel Ankra. Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Agricultural Economics and Policy, Bethlehem Chedalu Adani. The supervisors are Professor Irene Ejuri, Professor Edward Onuma, Dr. Ama Asantua Ohenekujo, and Professor Kim Tayun. Collins Ebenezer Apia. The supervisors are Professor Daniel Bruce Sapon, Dr. Yao Bunsu Osei Asari, Dr. Ama Asantua Ohenekujo, and Dr. Catherine LaRochelle. Rich Kofi Tuo. The supervisors are Professor Daniel Bruce Sapon, Professor Kwabena Asumeni Anaman, Dr. Yao Bunsu Osei Asari, and Dr. Richard Asari. Ebenezer Kondo. The supervisors are Professor Frida Asem, Dr. Yao Bunsu Osei Asari, and Professor Kwesi Mensa Bunsu. George Akron Morton. The supervisors are Professor Irene Ejuri, Dr. Yao Osei Asari, Dr. Collins Asante Ado, and Professor Wei Zhang. Jackson Ntuzweni Mana. The supervisors are Professor Akwesi Mensa Bunsu, Professor Daniel Bruce Sapon, Dr. Alfred Berema, and Dr. Apoba Shaw. Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Parasitology, Emmanuel Kwame Amwako. The supervisors are Dr. Daniel Ojuro, Professor Ben Jan, and Professor Lambon Bimi. Doctor of Philosophy in Biochemistry, Genevieve Kwao Ziga. The supervisors are Professor Osborne Kwe, Professor Emmanuel Ayite Tego, and Professor Antoinette Bediako Bowen. Abigail Obuobi. The supervisors are Professor Niels Benkwashi, Professor John Sayers, and Professor Nancy Duakwashi. Wolano Tashi. The supervisors are Professor Niels Benkwashi, Professor Nancy Ojowa Duakwashi, and Professor Harry Peter Dikonen. Doctor of Philosophy in Biodiversity and Conservation Science, Sandra Owusu Jemfi. The supervisors are Professor Ya Ntuyamwa Bedu, Professor Daniel Atukefio, and Dr. Lauren Code. Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry, Crystal Fumilayo Ade. The supervisors are Professor Richard Amewu and Professor Mary Anti Chama. Peter Osei. He was supervised by Dr. Enoch Denchi and Professor Matt Dodd. Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Engineering, Gifty Osei. She was supervised by Professor Robert Soa, Professor Godfrey Mills, and Dr. Isaac Abuaje. Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science, Michael Kojo Kologu. The supervisors are Professor Solomon Mensah, Professor Winfred Yaukuma, and Professor Ebenezer Owusu. Michael Agbo Tete Soli. The supervisors are Professor Ferdinand Kachiku, Professor Justice Kwame Apati, and Professor Ebenezer Owusu. Doctor of Philosophy in Earth Science, Florence Amwakohene Akonto. She was supervised by Professor Daniel Kwejo Esiedu, Professor Chris Yao Anane, and Professor David Atapites. Joyce Duku. She was supervised by Professor Patrick Asamoah Sechi, Professor Daniel Kojo Esiedu, and Professor David Atapites. Doctor of Philosophy in Entomology, Franklin Eisi. The supervisors are Professor Daniel Ije Boache, Professor J. Jom D'Souza, and Professor Eric Bertrand Forcom. Thomas Jima. The supervisors are Dr. Fred Abuaji Entry, Professor Owen Lewis, and Dr. Talia Hatchett. Abdul Rahim Muhammad. He was supervised by Dr. Fred Abuaji Entry, Professor Yao Asare Afrane, and Dr. Simon Kweku Ata. Doctor of Philosophy in Environmental Science, Claudius Banagwini and Songna. The supervisors are Professor Benedicta Fosu-Mensah, Dr. Adelina Maria, Dr. Daniel Dako, and Reverend Dr. Dennis Ya. Emmanuel Ansa. You are supervised by Professor Chris Gordon, Professor Daniel Nukpeza, Professor Heiko Shofu, and Dr. Daniel Dak. Pearl Awudo. She was supervised by Professor Daniel Nukpeza, Professor Chris Gordon, and Dr. Philip Neri Jason Kwashiga. Bright Frempong. The supervisors are Professor Daniel Nukpeza, Dr. Samuel Cranton, and Professor Jesse Say Aivo, and Professor Benedicta Fosu-Mensah. Doctor of Philosophy in Fishery Science, Emmanuel Kwatin. The supervisors are Professor Francis Nunu, Dr. Amy Atta, and Dr. Eunice Kunedu Asamoah. Doctor of Philosophy in Medical Physics, Daniel Abekwe. The supervisors are Professor Stephen Inkum, Dr. Teresa Bebaku Derry, and Dr. Shirazu Ishahaku. Isaac Akwesi Akwa. The supervisors are Dr. Shirazu Ishahaku, Dr. Samoni Edutego, and Dr. Theophilus Akumiyasaki. Eric Knapp Manson. The supervisors are Professor Stephen Inkum, Professor Abdul Nashiruddin Mumoni, and Dr. Ishahaku Shirazu. Doctor of Philosophy in Molecular Cell Biology of Infectious Diseases, Alamisa Sulama. The supervisors are Professor Godwin Awandari, Dr. Yao Aniwe, Dr. Mamudu Sise, and Dr. Laurent Dembele. Edward Jenna Tetevi. The supervisors are Professor Mike Osei Achunibwana, Dr. David Labi Simpon, and Dr. Mohammed Maina. Doctor of Philosophy in Nuclear and Radiochemistry, Edward Awuku Kaka. You're supervised by Professor Dennis Bakpo Adote, Professor Jacques Bezendaut, and Dr. Delali Tulasi. Doctor of Philosophy in Nutrition, Eunice Bekun. The supervisors are Professor Matilda Stanaisi Edu, Professor Seth Edu Afawa, Dr. Agatha Naki Oheming, and Professor Amma Bene Akwesi Kuma. Salome Heyman. The supervisors are Professor Matilda Steiner Asiedu, Dr. Agatha Naki Oheming, and Dr. Marilyn Mabel Wilson. And Sir Josephine Labi. The supervisors are Professor Matilda Steiner Isiedu, Dr. Frederick Vuvo, Reverend Dr. Thomas Ndano. Doctor of Philosophy in Soil Science, Murphy Opoku Echampon. The supervisors are Professor Samuel Godfrey Kwesi Adiku, Professor Daniel Eche Dodo, and Professor Deles Sefako McCarthy. Ogechuku Blessings Chukweme. The supervisors are Professor Daniel Eche Dodo, Professor Stella Assuming Brempong, and Professor Samuel Godfrey Akwesi Adiku. James Ukwomunu Yahaya. The supervisors are Professor Daniel Eche Dodo and Professor Samuel Godfrey Kwesi Adiku. Doctor of Philosophy in Dietetics, Nana Kofi Owusu. You're supervised by Professor Ajediran Idowu Bello, Professor George Awuku Asari, and Professor Matilda Asante. Doctor of Philosophy in Medical Microbiology, Francisca Nana Efua Chiro. She was supervised by Professor Eric Sampani Donko, Dr. Noah Obeng Nkrumah, Professor Jafet Opitan, and Professor Beverly Ejiri. Christopher Infum Owusu Asenso. The supervisors are Professor Yao Asari Afrane, Professor Julius Abraham Adomingo. Doctor of Philosophy in Public Health, Albert Abakayonson. The supervisors are Professor John Akumensa, Dr. John Akumensa, Dr. Daniel Ni Sai Square, and Dr. Sewa Akuto Bewa. Raphael Edujemfi. The supervisors are Professor Kwesi Tope, Professor Juliana Enos, Dr. Kwame Yeboah, and Dr. Deda Ogum. Ajwa Boatema Edu Sakode. The supervisors are Professor Genevieve Cecilia Aite, Professor Moses Akins, Michael Afodope. The supervisors are Professor Reginald Konsa, Dr. Prudence Tete, Dr. Paul Kinsley Botry, and Professor Emilia Udofia. Edgar Atuhari. The supervisors are Dr. Adum Menu, Dr. Agnes Koto, and Dr. Emefa Mode. Efua Etuobi Yeboah. She was supervised by Professor Richmond Aite, Professor Richard Adanu, and Dr. Gloria Folsom. Bintu Fatima Ayete Labi. She was supervised by Dr. John Akumensa, Dr. Adum Menu, Dr. Seth Kojo Angote, and Professor Amanda Goya. Boateng Bannerman. The supervisors are Professor Amos La, Dr. Gloria Folsom, and Dr. Agnes Scotto. Francis Ofosu Kranting. You're supervised by Professor Reginald Kwanzaa, Dr. Prudence Tete, Dr. Paul Kinsley Botry, and Dr. Collins Pra Duodu.
Doctor of Philosophy in Adult Education and Human Resource Studies, John Issa Al-Hassan. His supervisors were Professor Olivia Tiwa Kwapon, Dr. Issa Kufuseni, and Dr. Hayford Ayirakwa. Kennedy Kwejo Ashiagbo. His supervisors were Professor Samuel Lamponsan and Dr. Mrs. Ellen Mabel Oseitutu. Joyce Boateng. Her supervisors were Professor Olivia Tiwa Kwapon, Professor Samuel Lamponsan, and Dr. Yvette Akwoko Afoa Asha. Selina Kafui Ifa. Her supervisors were Professor John Kwame Boateng, Dr. Yvette Akwoko Afoa Osha, and Dr. Abigail Ayoko Aye. Samuel Bavosia Salamat. His supervisors were Professor Inusa Salifu, Professor Isaac Kofi Baini, and Professor Boedi Ajekum. Doctor of Philosophy in Accounting, Kofi Udro Boateng. His supervisors were Dr. Emmanuel Tete Asari and Dr. Michael Ifa Asamoah. Priscilla Teku Oraka Tete. Her supervisors were Dr. Rita Amoa Bequin and Dr. Nicholas Asari. Kwekutia Osei. His supervisors were Professor Francis Abuaji Ochre, Professor Teddy Osei Kwachi, and Dr. Edward Nati. Yehu Vedehu Abdul Karim Mutosa. His supervisors were Professor Teddy Osei Kwachi and Dr. Rita Amoa Bequin. Doctor of Philosophy in African Studies, Mustafa Abdallah. His supervisors were Dr. Osman Al-Hassan, Dr. Peter Albrecht, and Dr. Peter Nah. Kofi Emmanuel Akpabli. His supervisors were Professor Esisa Daland Adi, Professor Audrey Gajepo, and Professor Samuel Ntewusu. Emmanuel Ni Adote Badu. His supervisors were Professor Kojo Amano, Professor Joji Chikata, and Dr. Ubudai Totu. Eva Sanam Jeblo. Her supervisors were Professor Joji Chikata, Professor Maya Minster Christensen, Dr. Deborah Atobra, and Dr. Benjamin Kobina Kwansa. Luanga Songsori. Her supervisors were Professor Albert Kanlisi Awedoba, Professor Oana Panait, and Professor Samuel Aniji Ntewusu. Doctor of Philosophy in Archaeology, Margareta Morgan. Her supervisors were Professor Fritz Beveridge, Professor Kwabena Akurampari, and Professor Wazi Apo. Fatima Musa. Her supervisors were Professor Benjamin W. Campaign, Dr. Samuel Nkumban, and Dr. William Blepo. Doctor of Philosophy in Development Economics, Vera Echampon. Her supervisors were Professor Abena Daji Udru, Professor Robert Daku Osei, and Professor Charles Godfred Aka. Franklin Nkudepe Ajoto. His supervisors were Professor Edward Nketian Ponsa, Professor Bernardine Senaja, and Dr. Gloria Afu Mensah. Joseph Dankwa Anson. His supervisors were Professor Abena Daji Udru, Professor Daniel Kwabena Chirifu, and Professor Monica Lambong Kwefio. Prince Ban. His supervisors were Professor Bernardine Senaja and Dr. Emmanuel A. Kujo. Doctor of Philosophy in Development Studies, Kofi Kekeli Amejro. His supervisors were Professor George Owusu and Professor Jennifer Robinson. Golda Anambani. His supervisors were Professor Charles Godfred Aka, Professor Ulrika Enimak, and Professor Kwame Adum. Tracy Commodore. Her supervisors were Professor George Owusu, Professor Charlotte Ringley Asanti, and Professor Simon Bawachilenu. Enyo Lat Lawson. His supervisors were Professor John Owusu, Professor Charlotte Ringley Asanti, and Professor Simon Bawachilenu. Ajiman Nanaya Owusu. His supervisors were Professor Charles Godfred Aka and Professor Robert Osaedako. Doctor of Philosophy in English, Makafui Akusika Kujo. Her supervisors were Professor Kofi Anyidoho and Dr. Mawuli Ejei. Charles Jobua. His supervisors were Professor Jemima Anderson, Professor J.F. Redu, and Dr. Nancy Hanaku. Angel Edward Congo. His supervisors were Professor John Franklin Redu, Professor Gladys Nyako Ansa, and Dr. George Kodie Frimpong. Jafet Kujo Mokani. Doctor of Philosophy in Finance, Isaac Abo-Mensah. His supervisors were Professor Emmanuel Sapon Kumankuma, Professor Joshua Idenaba Abo, and Dr. Benjamin Amoa. Hilda Jemfi Akuma. His supervisors were Professor Charles Ando and Dr. Saint Kutu. Benjamin Ajimai. His supervisors were Professor Joshua Idenaba Abo and Professor Peter Kote. Boyson Amote Amosi. His supervisors were Professor Anthony Abuaje, Professor Charles Ando, and Professor Godfred Amewu. Zuberi Salifu. His supervisors were Professor Joshua Ideneba Abo and Professor Godfred Amewu. Prince Ban Techi. His supervisors were Professor Patrick Opoku Esume, Professor Godfred Alufa Bobkin, and Professor Edward Asiedu. Doctor of Philosophy in French, Imeta Akaku. His supervisors were Professor Augustine Asa, Dr. Abdullah Imoru. Rosemond Anderson. His supervisors were Professor Ineka Ngosu and Dr. James Agbo. Dilis Kumiwa Pinkra. His supervisors were Professor Justo Bolekia Boleka and Dr. Ulrich Duo. Doctor of Philosophy in Geography and Resource Development, Joseph Mihaye. His supervisors were Professor Gerald Yeran, Professor Emmanuel Morgan Etia, and Dr. Lydia Osei. Doctor of Philosophy in History, John Marie Vianney Ahumuza. His supervisors were Dr. Kwame Edumchreme and Professor Andrew David Omona. Ruth Ampoma. The supervisors were Professor Cyrilin Amwa Buampon and Dr. Nanaya Buampon Sapong. Abdul Hadi Nadi Nasidi. His supervisors were Dr. Nanaya Buampon Sampon, Professor Usman Tar. Oge Samuel Okonko. His supervisors were Professor Philip Achu Afiadi, Professor Nicodemus Fru Awasom, and Dr. Daniel Olisa Iweze. Ruben Luka Shekaru. His supervisors were Dr. Nanaya Buampon Sapon and Professor Bello Ibrahim. Olatunde Olaseni Taiwo. His supervisors were Dr. Kwame Edumchreme and Professor Philip Achu Afiado. Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems, Raphael Amponsan. His supervisors were Professor Erika Fudazi, Professor Richard Boating, and Professor Emmanuel Awu Nikolok. Zelda Aku. Maud Ajele Ashon Elliott. Her supervisors were Professor Richard Boating and Professor John Ifa. Gilbert Mombaza Pelim Etime. His supervisors were Professor Emmanuel Awu Nikolok, Professor Richard Boating, Professor Eric Afudazi, and Dr. Sheena Lovia Boating. Natasha Na. Her supervisors were Professor Richard Boating, Professor Eric Afodazi, Professor Echampon Owusu, and Dr. Joseph Budu. Solomon Ode Apia. His supervisors were Professor Echampon Owusu, Professor Emmanuel Awu Nikolok, Dr. Joshua Ufori Amanfu, and Professor Richard Boating. Jefferson Seyanya Senyaja.
Doctor of Philosophy in Law, Eugene Ablade Oninku. His supervisors were Professor Peter Atupari and Professor Abdallah Ali Nachia. Doctor of Philosophy in Linguistics, Abdallah Idrisu. His supervisors were Professor Hudu Fusheni, Professor Clement Kwamna Inseidu Apa, Professor Evershed Kwesi Amuzu. Doctor of Philosophy in Marketing, Prince Yao Amu. His supervisors were Professor Bedman Nate, Professor Raphael Odum. Christian Koblavi Atadika. His supervisors were Professor Kobi Mensah, Professor Stephen Mahama Brima, Fahad Osman. His supervisors were Professor Mahmoud Abdullah Mahmoud, Professor Stephen Mahama Brima. Doctor of Philosophy in Migration Studies, Jiejom Abra Adam. Her supervisors were Professor Kweku Opong Asante, Dr. Angela Anefi Jesse Jamara, and Professor David Lackland Sam. Ashe Amano. Her supervisors were Professor Akosia Kesibo Adakwa, Dr. Benjamin Kobena Kwansa, and Dr. Geraldine Ampa. Mabel Efwa Kwenu. Her supervisors were Professor Daniel Bruce Sapong, Dr. Johnson Apia Kubi, Dr. Mark Kwekumensa Obeng. Doctor of Philosophy in Museum and Heritage Studies, Agnes Efwa Nyanowa Adumakomensa. Her supervisors were Professor Kojo Gavoa, Dr. Sylvanus Kuo, and Dr. Tabitha De. Kofi Semanu Achu Eje. His supervisors were Professor Kojo Gavoa, Professor Wazi Apo, and Professor Kwabna Akurampari. Samuel Julius Deborah. His supervisors were Professor Kojo Gavoa, Professor Benjamin Pakapenyen, Jacob Nimale. His supervisors were Professor Kojo Gavoa, Christopher Wecher. His supervisors were Professor Kojo Gavoa, Dr. Pascal Tarivinga, Professor Raymond Silverman, Doctor of Philosophy in Political Science, Abubakari Sadiq Abdullahi. His supervisors were Professor Seidu Alidu, Professor Abeku Esuman Johnson, Dr. Mami Jetejando. Alexander Amoa. His supervisors were Dr. Kumi Ansakwe, Professor Seidu Alidu, Dr. Rosina Foley. Mohammed Saliu Bari. His supervisors were Professor Abdul Janliu Ateku, Professor Seidu Mahama Alidu, Professor Isaac Owusu-Mensah. Kwame Boateng. His supervisors were Professor Isaac Owusu-Mensah, Dr. Abdul Jalil Ateku, Dr. Charles Amo Ajiman, Teddy Fode Musa. His supervisors were Dr. Abdul Jalil Ateku, Professor Isaac Owusu-Mensah, Professor Seidu Mahama Alidu. Mustafa Bright Nave Few. His supervisors were Professor E. Deborah, Professor Abdullahi, and Dr. Agbevade. Fusheni Salisu. His supervisors were Professor Abdullahi Bamed, Professor Emmanuel Yeboah Isiama, Dr. Akpeko Agbevade. Mohammed Shamsuddin Shado. His supervisors were Professor Seidu Mahama Alidu, Professor Abeku Esuman Johnson, Dr. Kwame Asa Asante. Donald Yobi. His supervisors were Professor Abeku Esuman Johnson, Dr. Abdul Jalil Ateku, Dr. Ziblim Idi. Doctor of Philosophy in Population Studies, Christiana Edu. Her supervisors were Professor Mumuni Abu, Professor Samuel N.A. Kujo, and Dr. Lily Kobi. Nyabire Insobila Atindana. His supervisors were Professor Stephen Owusu-Kwanche, Professor Margaret Delali Badasu, Professor Aaron Kobina Christian. Paul Abiri. Daniel Egerson. Clemens Jato. His supervisors were Professor Mumuni Abu, Professor Ayaga Agulabawa, and Professor Stephen Owusu-Kwanche. Mutaru Goro Idrisu. His supervisors were Professor Ayaga Agulabawa, Professor Adriana Baini, and Dr. Yao Atiglo. Obed Ernest Akai Neti. His supervisors were Professor Ayaga Bawa, Professor Mumini Abu, and Professor Faustina Frempong Angwa. Clarice Penyin Nyan. Her supervisors were Professor Aaron Kobina Christian, Professor Mumini Abu, and Dr. Fidelia Dake. Sarah Asa Owusu-Kwanche. Her supervisors were Professor Mumuni Abu, Professor Aaron Kobina Christian, and Dr. Lily Kobi. Ruth Toby Sawyer. Her supervisors were Professor Mumini Abu, Professor Aaron Kobina Christian, and Dr. Lily Kobi. Doctor of Philosophy in Psychology, Irene Nyakwa Bokpin. Her supervisors were Professor Joseph Osafo, Professor Emmanuel Niboy Kwashi, and Dr. Johnny Ando Arthur. Christopher Mensah Saba. His supervisors were Professor Joanna Salifuyendok, Professor Francis Ano, and Dr. Ernestina Enyonam Novieto. Beatrice Jumfo Williams. Her supervisors were Professor Joseph Osafo, Professor Kweku Opong Asante, and Professor Emmanuel Niboy Kwashi. Doctor of Philosophy in Public Administration and Policy Management, Lawrence Ofe Asari. His supervisors were Professor Albert Ahenkan, Professor Kwame Asamoah, and Professor Alex Boachi Asiedu. William Yamoa. His supervisors were Professor Albert Ahenkan, Professor Kwame Ameyaw-Domfe, and Professor John Battle. Doctor of Philosophy in Sociology, Selom Ahaji Adogla. His supervisors were Professor Dan Bright Jogbo and Professor James Jisa. Ruth Minikubu Kaburi. Her supervisors were Professor Akosia Kesibo Adakwa and Professor Fidelia Ohemeng. Doctor of Philosophy in the Study of Religions, Edwin Tete Boete. His supervisors were Reverend Professor George Osombacha and Reverend Dr. Abraham Nana Opare Kwachi. Haruna Yusuf Mokhtari. His supervisors were Professor Rosemary Amenga Etego, Professor John Azuma, and Dr. Rabiatu Ama. Na Emmanuel Nati. His supervisors were Dr. Lawrence Boache and Dr. Father Michael Kojo Mensah. Emem Opoku Ajiman. The supervisors were Reverend Professor George Osombacha and Reverend Dr. Alexander Salapi. Doctor of Philosophy in Theatre Arts, Wilmina Tete. Her supervisors were Professor Awomana Esiedu, Professor Kosia Dakwa, and Dr. Samuel Bernard. Doctor of Philosophy in Environmental Science, Christian Robert Yaira Akolache. His supervisors were Professor Jijo Irenya Teria, Professor Chris Gordon, Professor Abraham Annan, and Professor Daniel Nupeza. Doctor of Philosophy in the Study of Religions, Michael Appiah. His supervisors were Reverend Dr. Abraham Nana Opare Kwache and Professor Chris Thomas.
A round of applause for yourselves, please. Our dear fresh graduates, congratulations. You are now our freshest alumni, and we are very proud of you. As fresh graduates, you may now move the tassels on your caps from the right to the left to signify your graduation. So may you have a moment and turn your tassels to the left. Congratulations once again. As alumni of the University of Ghana, you are our international ambassadors. We expect you to translate the knowledge gained in this institution to benefit humanity. We pray that you will be our institution's most loyal supporters wherever you find yourselves. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular privilege and honor to invite to the podium our special guest of honor, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama, to deliver his goodwill message to the graduates. Shall we welcome the President, please?
Thank you. Kindly resume your seats. Thank you very much. Madam Marietta Ajewa Brew, Chairperson of the University Council, Professor Nana Aba Apiamfo, Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ambrose Jeme Hufuet, our guest speaker at this congregation, the University Council, staff and faculty, senior government officials present, And let me also acknowledge the former First Lady of Namibia, Her Excellency Monica Gengob, who's here with us. Members of convocation, graduating students, families and friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure for me to return to the nation's premier university because every visit reminds me of the remarkable role my alma mater has played in shaping generations of leaders. Professionals, researchers, public servants, politicians, whose contribution continue to strengthen our nation and extend far beyond our borders. Just this January, I had the honor of opening the 77th Annual New Year School and Conference on this very campus. I'm delighted to return once again to celebrate the successful completion of an extraordinary academic journey by scholars who have earned the highest university degree in their respective disciplines. I'm especially delighted to see my Chief of Staff among today's graduating class. And I congratulate him together with every member of this distinguished cohort. I can actually see the fruit of the journey he has undertaken. We used to be on the campaign trail together, and he will run away and leave us and say, oh, I have to meet my supervisor. You know, and sometimes a few years ago, he would leave because they have to go and dig and examine some archaeological sites. And he'll always come back with a lot of interesting stories. One of them, they were digging somewhere in Nakwanduri or something like that. And then suddenly the chiefs and the villagers came out and confronted them. And you know what they thought they were doing? They said they thought they were doing galamsey. His achievement is a powerful reminder that learning is a lifelong pursuit and that public service and academic excellence are not mutually exclusive. They are indeed mutually reinforcing. I suspect he may now begin reminding me that every argument requires stronger evidence and that every quotation deserves a proper citation. I shall therefore have to be very much more careful in future. Looking around this distinguished gathering, I briefly entertained the thought at a certain point, returning to pursue my own PhD. You wait, just wait. And then memories of supervisors, endless revisions, and the viva voce examinations quickly brought me back to reality. And I concluded that for now, at least, my role is to encourage others to undertake this noble journey. Our responsibility as government is to create an environment in which talent can flourish. And we'll continue investing in higher education, research, innovation, and digital infrastructure so that every Ghanaian with the ability and determination to pursue advanced learning will have the opportunity to do so. Education will remain at the center of our national development agenda because in today's world, knowledge and investing in education is investing in Ghana's future competitiveness, our prosperity, and our resilience. Madam Chair of the University Council, the University of Ghana has made an immeasurable contribution to the development of our country. For generations, it has educated leaders, professionals, researchers, innovators, and public servants whose work continues to strengthen our institutions and advance our national progress. Across government, the judiciary, diplomacy, healthcare, education, business, science, technology, and the creative arts, we see the enduring imprint of this great university. That is a legacy every member of this university community should cherish with pride. Beyond producing graduates, the university continues to shape national and continental conversations through research, policy engagement, and intellectual leadership. As the African Union champion on reparations, I take particular pride in seeing scholars from this university contributing meaningfully to Ghana's leadership on reparative justice. And I want to add my voice to the Vice Chancellor to congratulate the group from the School of Performing Arts who performed at the Next Steps conference. Indeed, your performance at the Christianborg Castle made such an impression that the Prime Minister of Barbados, they are celebrating the unveiling of a monument to slavery during the third quarter of this year. And she extended an invitation to bring the group from the School of Performing Arts to Barbados to reenact that slave journey. They have a port where the slave ships used to berth, and they had a fort, and the slaves were marched from the port to the fort. And so she wants our cultural troupe, School of Performing Arts, to come and reenact that journey from the port to the fort. So you'll be hearing from us soon about the travel arrangements. Whether through the Institute of African Studies, the School of Performing Arts, or its many research centers, the University of Ghana continues to demonstrate that scholarship, history, and culture are powerful instruments for advancing justice, preserving our heritage, and shaping Africa's future. To our newly graduated PhDs, today marks the culmination of years of sacrifice, perseverance, and intellectual discipline. You have earned the highest academic qualification a university can confer, and you have every reason to celebrate this remarkable achievement. And I hereby serve notice to Professor Jinapo of GTech that your degrees are very, very, very authentic. But with these degrees come an even greater responsibility. Society will judge your success not merely by the knowledge you possess, but by the problems you solve with that knowledge, the institutions you strengthen, and the lives that you improve in your communities. Ghana needs your intellect, your creativity, your innovation, and your leadership. I sincerely hope that many of you will choose to build your careers and your future here in Ghana. Our universities, research institutions, hospitals, industries, technology firms, and public service require your expertise. If we are to accelerate our national transformation, these are the talents we must seek. Some of you will pursue postdoctoral studies and professional opportunities abroad. I encourage you to excel wherever these opportunities may take you. Learn from the best, compete with the best, and distinguish yourselves as alumni of the University of Ghana. Our nation's progress will continue to depend on the willingness of her sons and daughters to bring back their knowledge, experience, and innovation in service to our dear nation. And so wherever your careers lead you, never lose sight of the values that this university has sought to instill in you: integrity, commitment, respect, and loyalty. These values will earn you trust and strengthen the institutions you serve, and remind you that true leadership is measured as much by character as by achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, permit me to address two matters of particular importance to this university and to the future of higher education in Ghana. Madam Chair of Council, Madam Vice Chancellor, I'm aware of the keen interest in the future management of the University of Ghana Medical Center. Our government remains committed to restoring the university's stewardship of the medical center. The committee that was established to review the matter has submitted its report, and government has noted the recommendations therein. The next step is the presentation of a transition roadmap for execution. We remain determined to ensure that the University of Ghana Medical Center fully serves its original purpose as a center of excellence for teaching, research, specialist training, and world-class healthcare delivery. We're equally committed to ensuring that no capable Ghanaian is denied access to higher education because of financial constraints. And so through the No Fee Stress initiative, we're working to ensure that as many first-year students as possible begin their university education with dignity, confidence, and hope. Education should never be determined by the size of one's pocket, but by the strength of one's knowledge and potential. And so on this occasion, allow me to congratulate every student graduating during the July 2026 congregation ceremonies. You've earned your degrees through discipline, sacrifice, and perseverance. Wear those degrees with humility and allow them to inspire you to place your knowledge and skills at the service of humanity and your societies. Today marks not the end of your academic journey, but the beginning of an even greater responsibility. And so I urge you, go forward with confidence, humility, and purpose. Let your scholarship illuminate the path for others. Let your integrity inspire trust. Let your leadership strengthen our institutions and help build the prosperous, just, and inclusive Ghana to which all of us aspire. And so once again, I say congratulations to each one of you. May your achievements continue to bring honor to your families, this great university, and our beloved nation. May God bless the University of Ghana, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana. I thank you.
very much. Please resume your seats as we welcome the Director of Public Affairs.
Thanks very much, Deputy Registrar, School of Graduate Studies. Hearty congratulations to you, our freshest graduates. You have to applaud yourselves. You have done really well by coming this far. All the speakers here have encouraged you to distinguish yourselves in your future endeavors. And so we need you to shine. Shine wherever you find yourself, chalk successes, and when you chalk successes, please share your success stories with us, and we are sure to celebrate you to the core. Congratulations once more. Your Excellency, the President, Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chancellor, please permit me to break protocol to introduce once again one of our special guests. The President has already acknowledged her, and I'll take it again so that she waves for us to see her. A former First Lady of Namibia, Her Excellency Monica Gingos. Thank you very much for joining us, and we thank you all for joining us both physically and virtually to make this graduation ceremony a huge success. We are very grateful to you. I'll take a couple of announcements and we are out of here. After the national anthem, we'll take the national anthem again, and after the national anthem, we kindly invite all graduates and guests to remain standing as the platform party recesses. And when we do that, we all converge at the Vice Chancellor's court, where we have the bust of our former Vice Chancellors to do group photographs. And we invite the valedictorian to be on the front row with our officials here. After the group photographs, members of convocation and the platform party will recess to the Vice Chancellor's lodge. And we invite the valedictorian together with his guests to join us there as well. We are encouraging our graduates to patronize the services of accredited photographers. We have accredited some photographers on campus, and so we need you to patronize their services. You see them in blue jackets with the inscription, UG Accredited Photographer. Please patronize their services. There are other people roaming around who are not accredited. Just focus on the accredited photographers. Also, the photographers who did your onstage photos are stationed close to the CAS office, that is behind BAM Library, a place called a Z Quadrangle, which overlooks the back of Commonwealth Hall. Please patronize their services as well. So the AZ Quadrangle, close to the CAS office and behind the amphitheater at Commonwealth Hall, you'll find a group that did the onstage photos. They are in the lemon green and blue jackets. Please patronize their services as well. And when you have done your group photos and your graduation photos, remember to share on our hashtags. We have 2 hashtags, and I need you to repeat after me. Hashtag UG Congregation. Hashtag UG Class of 2026. Please share your photos there to join the euphoria. If you turn to page 72 of your brochure, you see an alumni app, alumni network app. There's a small QR code there. Please turn to page 72 of your brochure. You see a small QR code there. Scan it and you come to a very small form asking you to fill to join our alumni network. You should consider yourself very privileged to be an alumnus or alumna of this university. As you can see, the president is our illustrious alumnus, and who knows, maybe you become the future president. You don't know. So scan and join the network there. And then also, when you turn to page 73, you see 2 QR codes. One leads to our undergraduate applications, the other leads to the graduate applications. Please scan and share our programs with your family and friends, and urge them to join us. There are people who have, the WASI graduates, they are waiting. Some of them don't know after they write WASI, they have to apply. So please encourage them to apply. Applications are still open both for our undergraduate and graduate programs. And for our international students, please share the QR code with your countrymen. Maybe when they train here, we are noted for training leaders, as the president noted, as well as presidents. Maybe when they train here, they'll become presidents of their country. So encourage them also to apply. We invite you all to bring us more applicants and for us to have a huge community of the University of Ghana. As I earlier said, after the group photographs, the members of convocation and the platform party will retire to the Vice Chancellor's Lodge, and the valedictorian is invited to join us with his guests. This brings me to the end of my announcement. Please, one more. Graduates are to return their gowns to the collection point for their certificates. Graduates, please return your gowns to the collection point for your certificates. But graduates from the College of Health Sciences, that's the School of Biomedical and Allied Health Sciences and Medical School, you are to return your gowns to the School of Nursing for your certificates. Thank you very much. So I repeat this announcement. The valedictorian, please join us for the picture. You'll be on the front row, so please take notes. Please, at this point, kindly rise for the national anthem. Please remain standing as the platform party recesses. Graduates, please note that you all join us for the group photograph. So you follow us row by row after the members of convocation.